You feel it, don't you? In the quiet moments, when the distractions fade, when you're lying in bed staring at the ceiling or stuck in traffic, a ghost in the machine of your own life, you feel it. That nagging, persistent, soul-crushing feeling of being powerless, a leaf in the wind, a ship without a rudder, a pawn on a chessboard where you don't even know the rules of the game. You are reacting, always reacting. Reacting to your boss's demands, reacting to the news headlines, reacting to the opinions of others, reacting to the chaotic impulses of your own mind. Your life is not a life you are actively creating. It is a series of reactions to circumstances thrown at you by a world that does not care about your dreams. And you've been taught to accept this. You've been told this is normal. They call it being realistic. They call it adulting. They have given your powerlessness 1,000 comfortable names so you will never question it, so you will never fight back. Why? Because a powerless population is a profitable population. A powerless population is a compliant population. A powerless population is easy to control. They need you to believe that power is something external, something you have to be given. A title, a promotion, a lottery win. They need you to believe you are a victim of your circumstances. Today, right now, we declare that lie dead. We are here to talk about a different kind of power. A power that no one can give you and that no one can ever take away. A power that is forged in the silent crucible of your own soul. We are here to talk about personal power. The absolute sovereign authority over your own mind, your own actions, and your own destiny. This is not the power to control others. That is the shallow ambition of tyrants and fools. This is the power to control yourself with such absolute mastery that the world around you has no choice but to bend to your will. And this power is governed by laws, unseen, unspoken laws that the truly powerful have understood for centuries while the masses remain ignorant. These are the laws they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you on the news. They don't want you to know them, because the moment you understand these laws, you cease to be a pawn. You become a player, a king or a queen on the board of your own life. This is not a lecture. This is an awakening. This is your initiation into the real game. I'm going to give you the 8 laws of personal power. And if you have the courage to not just listen, but to live them, your life will never be the same. The question is, are you ready to stop being a leaf and start becoming the storm? Are you ready to claim the power that is your birthright? The first law is the foundation upon which all others are built, and it begins not in the world, but within you, because you cannot command the world. You cannot command a single other person. You cannot even command your own dog until you have first achieved absolute unquestioned mastery over your own internal kingdom. This is the first and most important law of power. You must see your mind, your emotions, and your impulses not as who you are, but as a chaotic, rebellious territory that you must conquer, civilize, and rule with an iron will. The powerless man is a slave to his own internal state. His feelings are his master. If he feels unmotivated, he doesn't work. If he feels angry, he lashes out. If he feels afraid, he retreats. His life is a chaotic mess because his inner world is a chaotic mess. He has no king on the throne of his own mind. It's a mob rule of fleeting emotions and childish impulses. Is this you? Are you a slave to your moods? Does your productivity depend on you feeling like it? Do you let a moment of anger from a stranger ruin your entire day? If so, you have no power, none. The first act of the powerful is to declare sovereignty over the self. You must draw a line in the sand and decide right now that you are the ruler of your own mind, not its subject. Your feelings, your thoughts, your lazy impulses, they are your advisors, sometimes wise, often foolish, but they are not the king. You are the king, and you have the final say. This is the war of discipline. It is the war of emotional control. It is the war of self-awareness. It means you get up and do the work when you don't feel like it. That is discipline. It means you feel the white-hot rage rising in your chest, and you choose to respond with calm, calculated silence. That is emotional control. It means you observe the voice of doubt in your head, and you recognize it as a traitorous broadcast, not as the truth. That is self-awareness. This is not about suppression. This is not about pretending you don't have feelings. That is the path of the coward. This is about acknowledging the feeling, respecting its presence, and then as the ruler, deciding whether or not to act on it. You feel the fear, and you take the action anyway. You feel the laziness, and you go to the gym anyway. You feel the desire for cheap distraction, and you read the difficult book anyway. This is the forge of character. Every single time you override an unproductive impulse, you are strengthening your ruler muscle. You are building self-trust. You are proving to yourself on a deep cellular level that you are in command. How do you begin this conquest? You begin with your body. It is the physical manifestation of your will. You command it to wake up at a specific time. You command it to exercise. You command it to consume fuel, not poison. Mastering your body is the first most tangible step to mastering your mind. The person who cannot even control what they put in their own mouth has no hope of controlling their destiny. Then you move to your mind. You command it to focus. You command it to learn. You command it to be still. Through practices like meditation, you are not emptying your mind. You are training it to sit, to stay, to obey like a wild dog. You are establishing yourself as its master. This is the foundation. It is the most difficult, most important work you will ever do. It is a silent, lonely war waged every single day. But if you win this war, if you can truly establish an orderly, disciplined kingdom within yourself, then the outside world will begin to look very, very different. It will cease to be a source of chaos, and it will become a territory ripe for conquest. But once you begin to establish order in your internal kingdom, you will realize with terrifying clarity that it is under constant, relentless siege from the outside world. This is why you must immediately understand and implement the second law of power. You must treat your mind as an unbreachable fortress, and you are its sole, ruthless gatekeeper. The powerless person has no walls. Their mind is an open city, easily conquered, with no guards at the gate. Any passing opinion, any piece of junk news, any toxic person can wander in, set up camp, and start poisoning the water supply. They spend their days consuming a diet of mental garbage, celebrity gossip, political outrage, fear-mongering news, the curated, fraudulent lives of others on social media, and then they wonder why they feel anxious, envious, and weak. They wonder why their own thoughts are not their own. They have been conquered without a single shot being fired. You must understand this. Your attention is the gateway to your mind. It is the most precious, valuable currency you own. And there is an all-out war to steal it from you. Every corporation, every algorithm, every media outlet is fighting to colonize your attention for their own profit. The powerful person understands this. They know that what you feed your mind directly determines the quality of your thoughts. And the quality of your thoughts directly determines the quality of your life. So they become ruthless, merciless gatekeepers. This is the law of the unbreachable fortress. It means you take radical responsibility for every single input you allow into your consciousness. You conduct a brutal audit of the information you consume. That news channel that only feeds you fear and anger, you turn it off permanently. That social media account that makes you feel inadequate and envious, you unfollow, you block, you delete the app. That friend who only ever complains, gossips, and drains your energy, you cut them out. You build your walls. This is not about ignorance. This is about strategic intelligence. You choose your inputs with the same care that a master chef chooses their ingredients. You choose to read books that have stood the test of time. You choose to listen to podcasts that teach you a valuable skill. You choose to have conversations that elevate you, that challenge you, that inspire you. You are feeding your mind a diet of power, strength, and wisdom. This also applies to the people you allow through the gates. The powerless person is desperate for acceptance, so they let anyone into their inner circle. The powerful person is ruthlessly selective. They understand that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. They know that mindsets are contagious. They know that weakness is contagious, so they surround themselves with other kings and queens. They build a council of warriors, not a committee of complainers. Building this fortress will be uncomfortable. People will call you selfish. They will call you arrogant. They will accuse you of thinking you are too good for them. Good. Let them. Their complaints are the sound of the enemy realizing the gates to your city are now closed. You are no longer an easy target. You must be willing to be lonely for a while. The path to power is often a solitary one at first. It requires you to separate yourself from the herd, from the noise, from the mediocrity. In the silence of your fortress, you will finally have the space to think your own thoughts, to hear your own voice, to forge your own vision. Protect your mind. Guard your attention with your life, because it is your life. What you allow in will determine what you can build. If you allow in garbage, you will build a life of garbage. If you allow in strength, you will build an empire. This is the law. You've now conquered your internal kingdom. You've secured the fortress of your mind. You are in control. You are safe. But a fortress is useless if the army within never marches out to conquer new territory. A king who never leaves his castle is not a king, he is a prisoner. And this brings us to the third and perhaps most crucial law of applied power. You must cultivate a relentless, pathological, and unapologetic bias towards deliberate action. The world is filled with powerless intellectuals, dreamers, planners, thinkers. Their minds are beautiful libraries of knowledge, strategies, and brilliant ideas. But their lives are a barren wasteland of inaction. They are trapped in the comfortable prison of analysis paralysis. They are always getting ready to get ready. They are waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect conditions. Let me tell you a secret. The perfect moment does not exist. It is a fantasy, a ghost that the fearful and the weak chase their entire lives right into a grave filled with regret and unfulfilled potential. Power does not come from knowing. Power comes from doing. Your ideas are worthless. Your plans are worthless. Your knowledge is worthless until it is forged into reality through the brutal, messy, and imperfect crucible of action. This is the law of deliberate action. It is the decision to become an executor, not a theorist, a warrior, not a philosopher. The powerless person waits for inspiration. The powerful person understands that action is the great creator of inspiration, motivation, and clarity. You don't think your way to a new life, you act your way into it. You take one step, then another, then another. The path reveals itself not in the planning, but in the walking. You must declare war on hesitation. You must see procrastination for what it is, not laziness, but fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. And you must crush that fear with immediate, overwhelming action. Use the 5-second rule like your life depends on it, because it does. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you have 5 seconds to physically move, or your brain will kill the idea. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Get up, make the call, write the first sentence, send the email. This is not a trick. This is neurological warfare against your own internal resistance. You must adopt the mindset of a scientist in a lab. Your goal is not to be right. Your goal is to get data. And the only way to get data is to run experiments. Every action is an experiment. You launch the product, you ask for the raise, you start the conversation. It either works or it doesn't. If it works, you double down. If it doesn't, you have just acquired a valuable piece of data. You have learned, you have not failed. The only true failure is inaction. The powerless wait for permission. They wait for someone to tell them they are ready, that they are good enough. The powerful give themselves permission. They understand that no one is coming to save them. No one is coming to choose them. They must choose themselves. You must be willing to look foolish. You must be willing to be imperfect. Your first attempt at anything will be clumsy. Your first business will likely fail. Your first speech will be awkward. Good. It is a sign that you are in the arena. It is a sign that you are moving. The person who never looks foolish is the person who never tries anything new. They are a spectator in the game of life, and spectators have no power. Your new identity must be that of an action taker. It's who you are. It's what you do. When a problem arises, you don't complain, you act. When an opportunity appears, you don't hesitate, you act. Stop waiting. Stop planning, stop dreaming, and for the love of God, start doing. Your power is not in your potential, it is in your execution. Your legacy will not be the ideas you had, it will be the things you built. This is the law. And as you march, as you take relentless action, the world will push back. It will challenge you, it will provoke you, it will insult you. People will betray you, your plans will crumble. And in these moments, your raw, undisciplined emotion will be your greatest enemy. If you react with impulse, with anger, with fear, you will lose all the ground you have gained. This is why you must master the fourth most subtle law of power, the law of strategic detachment. The powerless person is a puppet of their own emotions. They are completely reactive. Someone insults them, they lash out in anger. A setback occurs, they collapse in despair. They are a feather in the wind, tossed about by the emotional weather of the day. They have no center. They have no control, and because they cannot control their own reactions, they are easily controlled by others. Anyone who can make you angry can conquer you. The powerful person understands that there is a space between what happens to them and how they respond, and in that space lies their freedom and their power. This is the law of strategic detachment. It is not about being a cold, emotionless robot. It is about being the calm, unbreakable eye of your own internal hurricane. You feel the emotions, you feel the rage, you feel the fear, you feel the grief, But you do not let those emotions dictate your actions. You observe them, you acknowledge them, and then from a place of calm, deliberate consciousness, you choose your response. This is the practice of the Stoic. When you are insulted, you do not react. You create a space. In that space, you ask, is this true? If it is, then this person is my teacher, and I should be grateful for the lesson. If it is not true, then why should their delusion disturb my peace? You choose to respond with silence or with a calm, measured reply. You have refused to give them your power. When a major setback happens, you lose a client, a deal falls through, the powerless person panics. The powerful person creates a space. In that space, they do not see a disaster. They see a data point. They do not see an ending. They see an unexpected turn. They detach from the emotional sting of the event, and they ask the strategic question, what is the lesson here? What is the opportunity here? What is my next move? This is a superpower. In a world of emotional chaos, the person who can maintain their internal calm has an almost supernatural advantage. They can think clearly when others are panicking. They can see opportunities when others are blinded by fear. You must train this ability like a muscle. It starts with small things. When you're stuck in traffic, instead of getting angry, you practice detachment. You observe your frustration without becoming it. You choose to use the time to listen to a podcast or to simply breathe. When you receive a critical email, instead of firing back an angry reply, you wait. You wait an hour. You wait a day. You let the initial emotional wave crash and recede, and then you respond from a place of logic and strategy. This is not passive. This is the ultimate form of control. You are refusing to be a puppet. You are cutting the strings. The world will constantly try to provoke you, to bait you into an emotional reaction. Your competitors, your critics, even your loved ones, they will push your buttons, because when you are emotional, you are predictable, you are sloppy, and you are weak. True, sustainable power does not come from taking, demanding, or manipulating. It comes from creating and giving. You do not chase power, you attract it. And you attract it by becoming a person of immense, undeniable value. The powerless person is a consumer. They consume entertainment, they consume products, they consume other people's energy. They are a net drain on the world. The powerful person is a creator. They create solutions, they create art, they create businesses, they create opportunities for others. They are a net positive, a fountainhead of value. Stop asking, how can I be successful? And start asking the far more powerful question, what problem can I solve? Stop asking, how can I get rich? And start asking, what value can I provide to the world at a massive scale? Power flows to the person who can solve the most difficult problems. Money flows to the person who can provide the most sought after value. Respect flows to the person who contributes the most. It is an iron law of the universe. So your mission becomes one of relentless self-improvement, not for your own ego, but for the purpose of increasing your capacity to serve. You must become a master of a valuable skill, not a hobbyist, not a dabbler, a master. You must go so deep into your craft that you become one of the best in the world at what you do. You must become so good they can't ignore you. This is the work. The lonely, unglamorous hours spent practicing, studying, and refining your skill when everyone else is out being entertained. This is you building your value factory. This is you forging yourself into a weapon of creation. When you become a source of value, the entire dynamic of your life changes. You no longer have to chase opportunities, they come to you. You no longer have to beg for a seat at the table, you are invited to sit at the head of it, or better yet, you build your own damn table and decide who gets to sit there. You become a problem solver. When people have a difficult problem, you are the person they think of. This is influence. This is power. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through your competence. And you must give value before you ask for anything in return. You help others. You share your knowledge. You solve small problems for free. You build a reputation as someone who contributes, not someone who takes. You are creating a gravitational pull around you. The powerless try to hoard what little they have. The powerful understand that value, like a muscle, grows when it is used. The more you give, the more you are capable of giving, and the more the universe gives back to you in return. So look at yourself. What are you creating? What problems are you solving? What value are you bringing to the marketplace, to your community, to your family? If the answer is not much, then that is your sacred work. Become obsessed with becoming a person of value. Become the source. Power will follow as surely as night follows day. This is the law. As you build this value, as you become a master of your craft, you will inevitably reach a plateau. The safe incremental steps that got you here will not get you to the next level. To break through to the realm of the truly powerful, you must embrace the law that separates the amateur from the legend, the good from the great. You must understand and master the sixth law, the law of the calculated risk. The powerless are terrified of risk. Their primary driver is the fear of loss. They are playing defense their entire lives. They stay in the safe job they hate. They keep their money in a safe savings account where it is eaten by inflation. They avoid the risky conversation that could save their relationship. Their entire life is a strategy of playing not to lose. And because of this, they can never ever win big. Playing it safe is the riskiest choice of all. It is a guaranteed, slow, comfortable death of the soul. The powerful understand that risk is the price of admission for a life of meaning and achievement. They are not reckless gamblers. They are intelligent risk managers. They do not fear risk. They respect it. They analyze it and they embrace it strategically. This is the law of the calculated risk. It is the ability to stand at the edge of a cliff, to analyze the wind, the distance, the landing, and to have the courage to make the jump, knowing that the only way to fly is to first be willing to fall. A calculated risk is not a blind leap of faith. It is a decision that is made after rigorous preparation. The powerful person does their homework. They study the battlefield. They mitigate every risk they can. They prepare for the worst case scenario. And then, when they have done everything in their power to stack the odds in their favor, they act with decisiveness and with courage. You must become a student of asymmetric risk. This is where the potential upside of a risk is vastly greater than the potential downside. The powerless focus only on the downside. What if I lose my investment? The powerful person analyzes the whole equation. I can only lose the money I invest, but if this works, the upside is 100 times that. It is a risk worth taking. You must be willing to bet on yourself, on your skills, on your vision. This means investing your own money into your own business. It means leaving the safe paycheck to pursue your calling. It means having the tough conversation, knowing it could end a relationship, but also knowing it's the only way to make it authentic. And you must decouple your ego from the outcome. A calculated risk is still a risk. You will fail. Many of your bets will not pay off. The powerful person does not see this as a failure. They see it as tuition. They have paid for a valuable lesson. They analyze what went wrong, integrate the lesson, and get ready to take the next calculated risk, smarter and stronger than before. The powerless person takes one risk, fails, and says, "See, it's not for me, I'm not lucky." They retreat back to their cage of safety forever. The powerful person knows that success is a numbers game. It is a portfolio of intelligent risks where the few massive wins will inevitably dwarf the many small losses. So ask yourself, where are you playing it too safe? Where is the fear of a small loss preventing you from achieving a massive gain? You must push your chips to the center of the table on the things that truly matter. Your dreams are not a casual hobby. They are the entire purpose of the game. Take the risk. The pain of a loss is temporary. The pain of regret for a risk not taken lasts a lifetime. This is the law. Taking these risks, creating value, acting with detachment, none of this happens overnight. The powerless live in a state of desperate immediacy. They want results now. They want the shortcut. They want the hack. And this is why they will always be powerless, because they fail to understand the most potent and misunderstood weapon in the arsenal of the powerful. The seventh law, the law of the long game. You must understand that you are not fighting a single battle. You are fighting a lifelong war. You are not building a house of cards. You are building a great pyramid of stone, and that takes time. The world wants you to be a sprinter. It celebrates overnight success, which is almost always a myth. It promotes a culture of impatience, and this impatience is a trap that keeps you making short-term decisions that sabotage your long-term future. The powerful person is not a sprinter. They are a marathon runner. They are not playing for next week, next month, or even next year. They are playing for the next decade, the next 50 years. They are playing for a legacy. This is the law of the long game. It is the supreme power of patience. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active. It is the discipline to keep laying one brick perfectly, day after day, year after year, with the unshakable faith that you are building a cathedral, even when all you can see is a messy construction site. The person playing the long game can endure the hardships of today because their eyes are fixed on the horizon of tomorrow. They don't get discouraged by a bad day, a bad week, or even a bad year. They see it as a single data point in a long, upward trending graph. The person playing the long game makes different decisions. The short-term thinker sacrifices their health for a promotion. The long game player knows their health is the engine of their long-term success, and they protect it ruthlessly. The short-term thinker cuts corners to make a quick buck, burning relationships in the process. The long game player knows that relationships and reputation are the most valuable assets you can ever build, and they nurture them with care and integrity over decades. You must fall in love with the process. You must find joy in the daily, unglamorous, repetitive work. The practice, the reps, because that is the entire game. There is no finish line. The true reward is not the destination, it is the person you become on the journey. This is why consistency is so much more powerful than intensity. The powerless person goes to the gym for a week with insane intensity and then burns out and quits for 6 months. The powerful person goes to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, every week for 30 years. Who wins? It's not even a contest. You must be willing to be misunderstood for long periods of time. While others are chasing the latest trend, you will be quietly, patiently, consistently building your foundation. They won't see your progress. They will think you are slow. They will think you are a fool. And then, one day, 10 years from now, your skyscraper will block out their sun, and they will call you an overnight success. Let them. You will know the truth. You will know that your success was not an event, it was a process. It was the inevitable result of 1,000 disciplined days stacked one on top of the other. Stop looking for the hack. Stop looking for the shortcut. There isn't one. The secret is that there is no secret. There is only the work done consistently over a long period of time. Embrace the long game. Let patience be your superpower. It is a weapon that the impatient, reactive world has no defense against. This is the law. And as you play this long game, as you build your fortress, as you create value, as you take risks, as you stack your disciplined days one upon the other, you will begin to accumulate power, real power, influence, resources, respect. And then you will inevitably face the final most important question a human being can ask themselves. The question that determines whether you become a hero or a villain. The question that defines your ultimate legacy. You must now confront the 8th and final law of power, the law of the noble purpose. Power for what? What is the point? What is the point of the discipline, the struggle, the sacrifice? What is the point of the great engine of personal power you have so painstakingly built? Is it just for you? Is it to accumulate more toys, a bigger house, a more impressive number in your bank account? If that is your answer, then you have failed. You have built a powerful weapon with no noble target, and it will eventually turn on you, consuming your life in a hollow, meaningless pursuit of more. Power without purpose is the most dangerous cancer of the soul. The powerless person thinks that power is the end goal. The truly powerful person understands that power is a tool. It is a byproduct. It is a resource to be used in the service of something greater than oneself. This is the law of the noble purpose. It is the understanding that your personal power must be hitched to a mission, a cause, a vision that transcends your own selfish needs. This is what transforms ambition into a contribution. This is what turns success into significance. Your purpose is your why. It is the fuel that will drive you through the darkest nights and the most brutal struggles. Money will not be enough to get you through the pain. Status will not be enough. Your purpose will. Your purpose is the answer to the question, what impact do I want to leave on this world? This is not about saving the world. It can be, but it can also be about raising a strong, loving family. It can be about creating a product that genuinely helps people. It can be about creating art that inspires the human spirit. It can be about building a company that provides meaningful work for others. Your purpose is the intersection of your unique talents and a deep need in the world. A leader without a purpose is just a skilled manager. A warrior without a cause is just a hired thug. Your purpose is what makes you a true leader. It is what elevates your fight to a noble crusade. It provides you with a moral compass. When you are faced with a difficult decision, you don't just ask, what is most profitable? You ask, what is most in alignment with my purpose? This is the source of integrity. It provides you with resilience. When you fail in the service of a purpose greater than yourself, it is not a personal failure. It is a lesson learned in the pursuit of a noble goal. It makes it easier to get back up, and it attracts others. People are desperate for meaning. They are starving for purpose. When you are a person who is on fire with a noble purpose, other people will want to come and stand in your warmth. they will want to help you carry the torch. This is the source of true, loyal, inspired followership. So I ask you, what is your purpose? What is the cathedral you are building with the bricks of your daily life? Do not go another day without beginning the search for that answer. It is the final and most important piece of the puzzle. Power without purpose is a curse. Power in the service of a noble purpose is the highest calling of a human life. This is the final law. And so the laws have been revealed. The map has been laid out before you. It begins and ends with you. You must first conquer your internal kingdom through discipline. Then you must build an unbreachable fortress around your mind. You must unleash the power of deliberate action. You must master strategic detachment from your own emotions. You must become a source of immense value creation. You must have the courage to take calculated risks. You must have the wisdom to play the long game. And finally, you must anchor it all to a noble purpose. This is not a list. This is a system. It is a code for living. It is a blueprint for becoming the master of your own destiny. This is the knowledge they don't teach you, because it is the knowledge that sets you free. It is the path out of the crowd. It is the escape from the life of quiet desperation. The choice is now yours. You can continue to be a leaf in the wind, a pawn on the board, a slave to your circumstances in your own undisciplined mind. The world is happy to have you there. It's the easy path, the comfortable path, the path that leads to a rocking chair of regret. Or you can make a different choice. You can decide right now that you are done being powerless. You can decide to take up the hard, lonely, and glorious work of forging yourself into a person of power. You can decide to live by these laws, not just when it's convenient, but as the core operating system of your entire life. This is your moment. This is your turning point. The world doesn't need another victim. It doesn't need another spectator. It needs you in the arena, forged, focused, powerful. So what will it be? Are you going to continue to let the world happen to you? Or are you finally going to happen to the world? The laws are yours now. The power is waiting. The choice is yours. Make it.